All right, everybody. All right, nobody. Um, so again, I did a better job today notifying that we had to move the time. We're in Stony Point, New York, at the Patriot Hills Golf Club. I think it's called. Beautiful place. Yeah. Great views of some hills and mountains and stuff. Beautiful. Of course, I did not golf. As most of you know, I do not golf. And yeah, I was wearing just got back, so I do not have a black T-shirt on. Can't wait till everybody sees that. Oh man. So preseason games are getting going. I guess Connor Bedard, I was just listening to the NHL Network, going to drive back. His first game is tonight that he will play in for the Chicago Blackhawks. Everybody's looking forward to that. Oh goodness. Golf's funny. So they bring me there obviously to harass people. So I basically stay at one hole, and as everybody comes by, Ronnie Jameson, what's happening, you magical creature? Hope you're doing well. Veteran, one of our many veterans. That was a good show the other day. We had that it's off like Harrison on the Delta Forces, Special Forces guy. Oh, Zach, was it Zach? Yeah. Man, he's a powerful speaker, and he speaks too. So got a lot of veterans coming on our show. Maybe we should have have a Veterans Day, get all the guys on, like Barry Shelley and Susan Brooks. Oh my goodness. Things are just getting better. Susan Brooks is here. Lorraine, how are you? Magical creatures. Susan and Lorraine. So I think I told you this lovely woman came not right. Can we discuss youth hockey, sexual harassment? Yeah, we'll get to that. Absolutely, we will. Yep. Yeah, okay, so let's get into it. So Ron wants to discuss, we'll do it. We discuss hockey sexual harassment. So I'll start off with what I thought was a really good thing. When I coached, I had to pass some new tests to come back and coach when I coached the high school team, the girls team. And they had us do this safe sport. Now, I have heard one gentleman I know who had some problems with coaching and wasn't too happy with Safe Sport, the way they handled things. But basically what it is, and I thought it was a good program that you go through. So it teaches you not only how to protect the kids, but to protect yourself. Don't put yourself in a position where you're alone with young kids, boys or girls, in the locker room, and all stuff like that. So I really thought it was good. I'm coming back from let me see here. We'll bounce around a little bit. I'm coming back from a family outing to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers. All right. I don't know if what songs do they have? I can't remember about them. They're not country songs. So let me see what Susan has to say here. We'll bounce around, Ron, on that topic. I think that's a very worthwhile topic. Thank goodness Taylor Swift is not dating a Rangers player. No kidding. What? God, I don't mean to be mean, but okay, I'll leave it alone. But apparently the viewership is way up. How's that going to end, though, right? That's going to end. It always ends for her. And then she'll write a song about him. Like, that's saying if you wanted to date her, you know for sure you're going to break up at some point, and she's going to write a nasty song about you. So there's lots of women in the world. I don't know why you'd want to put yourself through that. But here I am talking about, like, with my relationship past and ex-wives. And so maybe I shouldn't discuss what other people do with their relationships. Had an incident. Yeah. So, yes, Ron and I discussed he had an incident. He had a young girl was playing a mixed hockey, boys and girls. And we won't use the exact word, but a young boy called her a very negative term. And, that's the thing. It's an education thing too, right? Because in some case, maybe it's just some kids are bad kids or, made a mistake or whatever, but it's understanding what we should be doing and shouldn't be doing. Like, so now they have the rules in the NHL where you can't use some kind of language that we used back when we played. And looking back at it, it's ridiculous. A lot of things we did back then were ridiculous, but so Ranger, I know, right? I was thinking about that. I had to put this shirt on with this golf tournament. So you wear these, they have us give all these shirts all the time. And I'm not going to change it today. I'm going to go on there, shock everybody with a blue shirt on instead of a black one. So with the sexual harassment stuff, whether it's in hockey or where it is, we've discussed this topic before, and I've learned so much. in the past representing Sheldon Kennedy, and then now doing all this mental health stuff. And we don't understand, I think, how much stuff goes on. Sexual harassment, physical harassment, mental harassment. And it's just so much, not just young kids, but a lot of young kids, a lot of adults as well. So it's something I think we need to keep being aware of. And I think it's one of those things that we can't turn a blind eye to it too. We just can't say, well, it's none of my business, or this is my kid or whatever. I think we all need to do a much better job of, regardless whose child it is, if it's a child or even if it's a friend and an adult, to just step in and make sure this stuff, even if you're just thinking this, maybe something's going on, I just think it's worthwhile we all step in. So let me see here. You saying what we are thinking. Yeah, I know. I just listen. Yeah, he's young. She's young. Maybe listen. I shouldn't be negative. Maybe they'll end up getting married and have to live together the rest of their lives. Fine, but that hasn't been the track record. It's just, I guess my concern is some of the stuff that she's written in the songs. It's personal stuff. So, like, what you're thinking? Okay. Can you trust her that, because again, the track record is that they're going to break up. Can you trust her that she's not going to sing all this personal stuff about you? So, and Ron, you're right. So to go on with the sexual harassment thing, Ron did a good job. He heard the incident and reported it to the rink, which you need to do. That's a big part of it right there. Report, not just saying, oh, well, it's just kids being kids. You've got to stop that stuff, kind of language from harassing people. And again, I've learned that the damage you can do to not just kids, but people in general, when there's harassment like that, especially those formative years up to like 10 years old, where like traumas really affect people down the road. Ira, marriage is leading cause of divorce. Yeah. Well, you think about it, what is it? 54% of marriages end in divorce. So I think I've told the story before. Bill Burr did this great skit where he's saying, okay, would you get on a plane with those odds? Like the 54% of planes are going to crash. I don't think so. So we were in Stony Point, New York today at the Patriot Hills Golf Club. Nice place. Very nice. Unfortunately, I was going to go to Detroit this weekend. I had to cancel that trip. I'm working at the Lustgarten Foundation walk out in Jones Beach area on Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. I did that last year. It was a blast. It was a little windy and cold. John Stark's going to hate me, fellas, but he was there representing the Knicks, and he's going this year again. And he didn't want to get out of the car. It was so windy. He eventually got out and walked a little bit, but he didn't. He was let me see. Rumor has it that Jennifer Lawrence likes Tom Laidlaw and will be joining this podcast. Jennifer Lawrence. Which one's Jennifer Lawrence? I have to look her up. She can come on. We'll let her come up. All right. I was at the golf course today too. This guy comes walking up, and I swear to God, it was like a skinny Ron Greshner. I took a picture of him and I together too. I'll post it. I'll see if I can, if it shows up here. Let me see here. Ron Greshner. There he is. I'll post it. See but so we first come out, he was at a distance. He had the hat on and everything like Gresh wears, and the hair sticking out. Like, that's Ron Greshner. So I was calling Gresh all the time. Greg Norman, another guy looked like Greg Norman. Gresh, like, I go there and I don't know, I got like a little kid, right? And my job's to harass everybody. So giving everybody nicknames. Greg Norman, the guy looked like Greg Norman, so we called him Normie. He had a good shot too. He said, that's the best shot I ever hit. So, because of me, I call him Greg Norman. What else is going on in the world? Anything exciting? Thanks, Deb. Yeah, right. I'll post that picture. I thought it was hilarious. He was getting a kick out of it too. I guess that's happened to him before. So he said Bob Baffert, I think is the horse trainer. Like that came as a little bit too. So Senators sold. Thank you, Deb. That's right. I'm surprised. That's been going on for a while. Jeep made a Sabres alumni event. Yes. James was there. Yeah. Sabres being sold. Yeah. I can't remember their arena. They built a fairly new arena and they built it outside of town. I think the new plan was to try to build an arena in town. That's been the issues with some of these places, like building buildings in the wrong place. That happened in Phoenix. I think the plan was they built it out there thinking the population was going to expand out towards it. Oh, you know what's so our Full Change podcast. Please, everybody, like, share, make a comment if you get a chance. An old client of mine, Brian Berard, is going to come on a show. Great guy. He's a young guy that lost his eye. Well, didn't totally lose the eye, but lost most of the vision in his eye. I don't know if I should tell the story or not, but so we got to be really good friends. He was the first overall pick in the draft, won Rookie of the Year, playing with the Islanders. Was then traded to Toronto, and that's where he lost to Mary Hossa. If you remember the play, was spun around to take a slap shot, and it was follow through, went up into Brian's eye. Man, that was I remember seeing him. Like, I went into Toronto the next day, and happened in Ottawa. They flew back to Toronto, and he couldn't walk through the doorway. Like, his depth perception was gone. So to see him come back and play was pretty amazing. When he did come back, but I'll tell the story. Well, you know what? Maybe yeah. Well, okay. So we'll tell the story on the Full Change podcast. But it's interesting when he came back to play. Started off with the Rangers, then went to Boston, then went to Chicago, Columbus, and every time he went someplace, they wanted to do an eye test on him. There was really no rule that said even if he only had vision in one eye, there's no rule saying he couldn't play, but they just wanted to see how I was. And it wasn't very good. He could barely see. So we learned all the eye charts. There's different eye charts. Sometimes the E is upside down or whatever it is. And so we had a code system that when he sat down and looked at the chart, I would say something to him, like some smart ass comment or whatever. And that would tell him which eye chart it was. So he was acing his eye. Made it look like his eyesight was 20/20. Oh God. Happy birthday, Don Edwards. There you go. Yeah. Don Edwards. Well, Buffalo goaltender, correct, Ron Jameson? All right. Who we got here now? What do we got? The great Danny Erickson saying, I guess it's not harassment, but I knew a kid that was enduring a hard life that needed a pat in the back, but instead was verbally abused. Oh, man. That's that happens. Oh, I don't think, I think, the old school hockey way was, like yell at the kids, all that kind of stuff. And I just don't think they understand what they're doing to young kids. Again, I just learned so much more about those formative years up to like 10 years old when, positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, how that affects the kids on into being adults. Again, I think it's important to be hard on, like, and demand the kids to get the most out of themselves because you want to make them better people. It's not just hockey players. But all that negativity just doesn't help. It doesn't help be better hockey players. I don't think either. I remember I've talked about my junior coach Rick Hay getting on me with breakouts and yelling at me, but I never remembered him yelling like negative stuff about me. It was like work harder. He's trying to get more out of me. So, let me see. Yeah. The guy looked like, good call by there, Susan. Nice. Again, I'll post that. I want to see some of the comments. Like, who that guy looks like. He's a good guy. That's true though. Good call, Susan Brooks. Let me see. Thought our first female coach. That's very cool. Where was that? I can't remember where that was. But the first, was that the NHL had a female coach someplace? I can't remember. But that's fantastic. We had a female skating coach, Laura Stam, back when I first turned pro, and I remember thinking, woman coming in, but she was excellent. I mean, I think what it was too, that once we saw her teaching us and getting us to be better skaters, they really didn't care if she's a woman or not. Very nice, wonderful person. She's still doing it, I think, too. Still the skating coach. She was good. There's another topic: initiation. Those guys will be put in jail now. Yeah, you know what? And we've talked about this. It was initiation was one of the most useless things we ever did. It didn't bond the team together at all. I think it was just one of those traditions that was handed down. They got initiated, so they want to initiate somebody else. And you look back, it did nothing for the team. I don't believe it did. I mean, like shaving somebody's testicles in their head. I really don't think. ABC Today, Golden Bachelor. Oh God! So Susan's referring to I was approached by, and it didn't mean I was going to be on the show. But approached to put in an application to be on that show as the Bachelor. 60. I might get married again. First of all, isn't that the premise of the Bachelor that you want to get married? I have no intention to do that. Ha ha ha. Doug DeVito, afternoon leader. There is the great Dougie DeVito. What is happening? Hip replacement this coming up Monday. That's right. You mentioned that Monday. Good luck, bud. And I think you've got yourself pretty good shape too. I think that's a big part of it, being in shape when you go into the surgery, so it makes it easier the recovery. So, let me see. Barbara Williams was the first female coach. Oh, did you know if Barbara Walter got married? Remember Robin Bawa, the player? He played years ago. If Barbara Walters got married to Robin Bawa, she'd be Baba Bawa. I used to say that all the time. I forgot about that. And it came up the other day. Barbara Walters got married to Robin Bawa. His name was Bawa, B-A-W-A. She'd be Baba Bawa. Baba Bawa. Oh, goodness. Do you remember an old Ranger defenseman played in the 70s? No recollection whatsoever. New. What, Chris Snow? What happened there? Man, I'm out of touch sometimes with hockey now. Horrible news about Chris Snow. Oh, I did see that too. Yeah, he was the guy that worked. Did he work for Phoenix? I believe it was. And he passed away, right? It was like some. So he's his wife. I remember seeing where his wife posted that news. So yeah, that is sad. Yes, thanks to intermittent fasting. Yes, good job. And discipline too. You know, we can talk about intermittent fasting, but the individual has to have the discipline to do it. And great job by you and Ira too as well. Lose all that weight, so much healthier, easier on your heart. Barry Shelley, what is happening? You magical creature. So Barry is writing a book. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Barry. Barry's writing a book, and he introduced me to his writer, Carrie. I can't remember her last name, but we're doing a show on 10 o'clock on Monday morning. She's written a few books. Deb's such a sweetheart. Look at her. She's saying hello to everybody. I met this Barbara Williams. When I was coaching with John Tonelli, we were out in the island playing a game, and I was introduced to her. She started talking. Yeah, I met her. She's been around a long time too. I think we talked about Laura Stam as well. Let me see. Yeah, she's not my writer. Give me pointers. Okay, good. Very nice person. Busy mother, mother, wife, writer. Does other stuff too. She was fascinating. So that'd be good to go. Very well spoken. So, let me see. That's a former NHL. Sorry about let me see here. What was that? Thoughts on former NHL player passed away motorcycle accident? What restrictions do you guys have? Skydiving and everything. I don't know if they go into specifics now in the contract about no motorcycles or whatever. But basically, if you get hurt in a hockey-related incident, practice, working out, games, obviously, then you continue to get paid your money. Even if you can't play for an extended period of time. But if you get hurt doing something else, like riding a motorcycle, then you technically don't have to get paid. Now, there's some question if it's Connor McDavid. Would they stop paying him, and then he's now doesn't want to play for the team anymore? So it's I guess it kind of depends who you are. But let me see. Calgary, that's right. The Calgary assistant GM Kelsey Wade reported her. He's on life support. Will be donating organs. That's right. Yes, that was sad. I remember reading that. They had a picture of her and the family together, 2 little kids. And, Henry Boucher, man. Any updates? Sorry, I pressed the wrong comment here. I'll come back to you there, Deb. Any thoughts on passing Henry Boucher? Oh, man, it seems like we're losing so many guys. That's the thought, my biggest thought. I guess it's just getting older, right? But yeah, I remember watching him play, right? Didn't he wear the headband too? He didn't wear a helmet, had the headband going. Yeah. Any dog updates? Well, I don't want to take credit for educating the planet. But it appears people now have got the dogs on a leash all the time. So that's good. It's a good thing. Hold on here a second. Yeah, we had Kenny on the Full Change podcast, and Susan's going to correct me here, wrong. An I for all, a mic. Oh no, Mike for all seasons, and the I in Mike is a microphone. Kenny Albert's a great guy. Oh man, is he talented? What a good person. Like when you first meet him, he's such a good guy. It's almost like, okay, that's phony. He's not really that good a guy, but just same all the time. Great family guy. He's always posting pictures of his family and everything. So that's right. Good job, Ron. Great native inspiration. He's colorful. I think he's kind of like a colorful player too, like an Eddie Shack kind of guy. Hard worker and everything. Susan was giving me a hard time. I got to go back to Susan here. Tom Laird. Yes. So I guess we can announce it that the great Deb Anderson, is going to complete the book for us. So she has the old version of it. By all reports, she enjoyed it, but we need to expand it a little bit more. So yes, the book will get completed. If Deb is on the job, it will get completed. We know that. All right. Could you have participated in that TV show while you're playing? Forget the name of the show. You were on an island. Wow. Could I have played? I don't think there would have been any restrictions. I mean, I guess the only restriction would be the amount of time you had to put into it. So a total, like, geez, I think it was close to. So had to be in LA for 5 days. That was a casting, and then the show ran for 39 days, and none of us could go home until it ended. No matter where we got voted off, we had to. Our group went to Australia. So that's the 44 days there. And then we were out on the Ponderosa there, like the base camp, 5 days before the show. That's 49 days. So that would be the only issue, is all that time that would have to commit. Because when you're playing, even though it could be in the off season, it's supposed to be training. And when I went, man, I was zapped for a while. I lost 27 pounds. I'll post a picture sometime, like a before and after picture. Man, I was emaciated. I was nothing. It was embarrassing how much weight I'd lost. So that would have been the only concern, I guess, is be the time issue. Let me see here. Is there going to be a podcast with a beautiful woman who yelled at us? That'd be classic to find her. Oh man, she had to be. She looked like she was like in her late 20s or 30s or something. So let's say she was 35 back then. That was, what was that, like 40 years ago? That'd be fun. They would have be classic though. We found her and had her come on and do a show. Oh, one of the funny moments. I tell that story all the time. People just die because they don't anticipate that that's the way it's going to go, right? They think I'm bragging about, this woman wanted me so bad, which I thought she did. Oh man, that was a funny time. There are so many times like that things happen during the NHL, especially early in your career when things would happen. It's like, I can't believe this is happening. I'm playing in the NHL here. So, what else we got here? Get quiet. So preseason is going. Susan, tell us, give us your outlook on the New York Rangers. We're going to do a show. Tom Smith and I are going to show with for Full Change with Dave Maloney and James Patrick too. We're going to do like a preview of the National Hockey League season. We'll talk about the Rangers, obviously mostly, but we'll talk about the whole season too. So they're two intelligent guys. Those guys. They really are. Yeah, like Dave, doing so much after the game, even though they're still in hockey, both of them, but they're doing things like intelligent guys too, and they really carry themselves in a classy way. So, what else do we have happening around the world? Kind of quiet. We want Dukes. You want Dukes again? Ron Dugan on? We had Dukes on the Full Change podcast. Yeah, we'll circle back to guys, some really interesting stories. The only thing with Dukes is we've heard all his stories before. Like when you get new guys on, like the Richie Pilons kind of show. Neil Smith has been getting the one we did on him on Full Change. A lot of responses about how great that was because he's kind of disappeared now. And you think about his career where he had done so well, and he put that '94 team together that won a Stanley Cup, and then really kind of faded away. When you listen to him tell the stories, he's not. I guess you could say he's somewhat bitter, but it's not like he's. Has ruined his life or anything like that. But rightfully so, and we talked about it in the show. Why did he not continue? He had a brief stint with the Islanders there. That didn't go well. Come on, quick. Oh, Quick. Like to Rempe. Look good. Yes. Did you see Jonathan Quick, the back of his helmet? He had allowed his kids to pick out what was on the back. And I can't remember what was on the back of his helmet. It was the skyline of the New York City or something. Did dudes get run over by a moose? We somebody was saying that he's doing he was on somebody else's podcast too. And I think he's still, again, we pegged the over under at 4 months. It was Sarah Palin that it was going to be over with. But apparently they're still going hot and heavy. He is like the proud papa when he's talking about her. I just can't see Dukes up in Alaska though. But who knows? Love conquers all. Love wins. So I like to see more shows with former foes. Yeah, I agree. So Tom Smith, he's reaching out to a ton of guys. The Swaggy Pete, I think he came out today. I don't know if everybody listened to that or not. He's a really interesting guy. I watched him on Instagram before I knew he was doing a show. He does all these stick handling moves and everything. Really little guy. He plays in that 3 ice league that Steve Baker and Craig Patrick are involved in. Yeah, a lot of travel for Dukes. So I don't know if I can't. I was going to tell a story about Jackie DiPiazza, but it's not about her necessarily. It's about her interaction with some of the alumni guys. So alumni guys sometimes are, how could we say divas? We use the word divas. I think part of it is that a lot of alumni guys think, they've been treated a certain way all their lives, even though they're just alumni now, and there's really no requirement by the teams to treat them that way. Man. What else have we got going? Ron Duguay. I haven't seen Ron Greshner very much. We live right across from each other, but we're on different schedules. You get up at 3:30. I was touching on the story too about that woman, Joan, who came over, and she was very sweet and everything like that, but she had the nerve to knock on my door. We've never met before, and tell me that I shouldn't be talking at 3:53 in the morning, because she has her windows open. And I just felt like a very nice person. I wanted to accommodate her. So I'm walking farther away from her building now. So I'm hoping that she hasn't come back and the windows are still open. So I'm hoping I've solved the problem by staying away from her building. But I thought that was interesting. Goodness. So what else is going on? Somebody tell me what's going on. Quiet show today. Quiet show. Again, so I had to cancel. They had that trip planned. A really nice guy, this Joe Neville out in Detroit. Must be a wealthy individual. He's putting on an alumni game between, and again, he's not associated with the alumni at all, but he's putting on an alumni game with the Red Wings and the Bruins this weekend. And he got a hold of me through Frank Simonetti, who runs the alumni with the Boston Bruins. So I got to know Frank, and he wants to do the same thing with the Rangers in the spring. So he was going to fly me in. He was taking care of everything, flights and hotel and the whole bit, to see the event and see what it's like, which is totally unnecessary. I'm sure he's going to do a fine job, but I was looking forward to it. Unfortunately, I have to work at a Lustgarten Foundation walk at Jones Beach on Sunday morning, so I wouldn't have got back in time for that. So I had to cancel that. I felt bad for him because it's such late notice too. But again, good guy, and hopefully that I'm assuming that will happen. Did they have the game from Australia already? That happened? Did you watch the game from Australia? Oh, that's right, too. They probably did, yeah. I did not see that. I missed that, too. I heard that was happening. That'd be pretty cool. Great place. I love going to Australia. It was a fun place. It's beautiful places. We were in Brisbane. That was a nice town. Not like the United States. There's one place, Surfer's Paradise on the ocean, where obviously where surfers go, big waves and nice beach and everything. That's cool. That was a fun time in Australia. We were there for, I think it's called Australia Day. So they've got this game where you have a little paddle, and then you flip, is it like 3 coins? You flip them up in the air, and then when they land, if they all land, people bet on whether they all 3 are going to land on the right up on the same side. 2 out of the 3, 1, I don't know. So it was pretty cool. They all go to bars, they sit outside, and they do this, and they're drinking. And we were all together. We were chanting to make them do push-ups if they didn't get it right or something. I can't remember how it was played, but I think I brought back one of the paddles and the coins and everything too. Senator Pepper, yeah. Now that he's gone, and I don't have to listen to him anymore, things are much quieter. What I've learned though, too, is another dog behind me that does a lot of barking, and its name is Piper. That's the name. That's my first wife's name. My son's mother. So maybe that's why the dog annoys me so much. I don't know what it is. Oh God, George. I mean, I love this name, George Schlereth Jr. Remember George? I haven't seen George in a while. George came on here because there's another. That means there's another George Schlereth. I bet you I'm saying that right too. Schlereth. So one of the things we got going on, I don't know why I'm doing it, but on the Full Change podcast, I got this thing going now where I'm trying to do impressions, and I'm terrible at it. Like I tried like an Irish voice, hey laddie, hey, you wee bonny lad. Then I do Scottish. I was trying to imitate. Was it Chewbacca? Aggravates Tom Smith when I do it, so that's why we do it. Yeah. Let's see. You know what? That's a great question. The NHL puts that on, and for some reason they'd stop. I don't know if they'd stop completely, but I know as far as the last time, like they had all the outdoor games here, they didn't do an alumni game, and there was a reason for it. There was some reason. I can't remember what it was. Let me see. Yeah, predictions to win the cup. Vegas odds. You know, I just think there's so many teams that could win the cup. I'm not trying to be a cop out on that, but I really do. And I think that's great for the National Hockey League that there isn't one team you look at that they're going to win the cup. I do like Colorado's team. They had some injuries that really weakened their lineup, but I like them a lot. I mean, listen, the Rangers are in that group too. There's a lot of ifs though, right? I mean, those young kids have to get going again. Again, they've got Shesterkin, so as long as they've got him and he's playing his game, they've got a chance to win the cup like anybody else. Carolina's a good team. Vegas, obviously, anytime it's a cup defending team, pretty much the same team, you got to think that they've got a good shot. We'll be sending Tracy. Oh goodness, we be sending Tracy me a Christmas card. Absolutely, yeah. She'll probably correct any mistakes on it and write like some big long. Like no, a whole bunch of O's on it and send it back to me. But yeah, you laugh so hard. My Chewbacca invitation. Oh, you know what I've gotten into? I get on reels and I start listening. I go on and on and watching those videos on Instagram and the reels and everything. Man, there's some stuff is that really true? And the way they present it, like, oh yeah, this is true. And it's like this, but there's a lot of interesting theories out there. Yes, what's said here? Cup winner. Okay, so I did not nail down. So I've got to go with the Rangers. Why? The Rangers got a shot like everybody else. I bet you there's probably go through 6 or 7, 8 teams that you really think have a good shot of winning the cup. And there's always some team that steps up too that maybe really didn't think was going to. New Jersey's got to be in that group as well. There's always some team though that steps up and you didn't think. I really didn't think that they were going to win it, but they have a good season, and a good run in the playoffs. So, Schlereth cousins. I'm Mark Schlereth's cousin, and who's Mark Schlereth? I don't know. I probably should know. There's a lot of things I should know that I don't. I live in my thoroughly blissful ignorance. Halloween is coming up. You're stocking up candy to hand out kids. So I checked. This is so we're into health and everything, right? And there's so much obesity, which leads to diabetes and heart disease. The whole thing about like having National Hot Dog Day and giving out candy to kids. I gotta find some healthy food to give to them. Just like we need to think of the young ones. I think we just get into some of these habits sometimes thinking, okay, it's okay to do this. And then why are these kids gaining so much weight? And they're not exercising as much on their video games. So I'm going to hand out something. I'd like to find like a healthier snack to give them. Tom scared the kids away. He told them they weren't allowed. Oh, you remember that story, don't you? Oh, that was embarrassing. Oh man, the worst thing about it is it turned out that the family loved me. So if anybody hasn't heard the story, this is probably well before the pandemic. A really nice couple from South Africa, actually, and a bunch of families got together and they're outside playing in a common area where they're allowed to play. And the dads are out there with them. And I was in a grouchy mood or something one day. I had the doors open and they're right in front of my place. And I said, I think I was pretty nice about it. I said, can we please have them move away? And they didn't have to move away. It's Tom being a grouch. And I didn't think too much of it, either how it looked. They moved away. And one father said, well, we really don't have to, but we'll do it for you. And roadside, a couple of days later, the young boy, one of the boys was playing, cute young kid, and looked up at me. He says, oh, I remember you. You were the man that told us we had to move. And he looked at me, a cute face, and he said that to me. I was like, what did I do? And I apologized to him. The dad was standing behind him. And I apologized, said, listen, that was wrong by me. You can do whatever you want, play wherever you want. I should not have said that to you. And so the dad thought that was just spectacular that I apologized like that. So, and he went home and told his wife what a nice guy was, which was nice, but I should have never said it in the first place. So yeah, stay off my lawn. Yeah. God. Oh, that was, I felt like I just had no concept of how I looked when I was saying that to the kid. And it's funny after, like he'd come over and it gets common air, but it was snow. He'd have a little shovel and he'd clean off the sidewalk in front of my place a little bit. And I'd pay him $1. I'm so guilty. Like, oh God, terrible stuff. Susan's thinking here. Susan's thinking. Hold on, let me get Susan up here. Give out carrots, avocados. They'll never. I didn't see that part. They'll never come back. Oh goodness. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know. I guess you could say, well, it's just once a year candy, but I don't know. I just healthy. What did I make last night for dinner? Oh, I had lamb chops in the air fryer. Oh my goodness! Spray it with a little bit of avocado oil, a little bit of garlic salt. What else did I put on? Onion powder and some paprika, smoked paprika. Oh my goodness! Oh, get it to about like 130 degrees internally. Oh my God! Thank you, Deb. I know, but when it's kids too, it's like, oh, when he looked at me in that cute face of his and said that to me, I just about thought, oh, geez. Yeah. Then they think I'm the greatest thing in the world because I apologize. Oh gosh. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah. Wife called Tom a cranky old man after he scolded these kids. You know what? It's not wrong. That was we all make mistakes. We're not perfect, but that was not good. Ron's birthday is on Halloween. All right. So I should hand out bottles of Silly Salt. There you go. That's right. I'll get the girls to. I was going to see Loose Cannon and Pam Mahi Ahi in Detroit this weekend too. They're going to be at that event, but I cannot make it. I was going to give Barry Shelley a hard time. It's a fun, Barry. So Barry was coming down on a bus with a bunch of people from his hometown, and I was going to tell him I was going to meet him in the city. I was going to obviously exaggerate a little bit, saying I just cleared my schedule so that I had to cancel meetings with the president and everything. So you can see, and then they canceled their trip, but it was not that dramatic. So, Silly Salt. Oh, there you go. Now you're thinking. Somehow I get little containers. I'll put like little containers of homemade ketchup, homemade hummus. Oh, goodness. Put them in little bags, maybe slice up some cucumbers for them. Won't those kids be excited when they get that? Yeah, healthy, but what do we got here? Who we got? That's probably Tracy. Masquerading. First comment on YouTube. Woohoo. I've never seen that person before. So, okay, that's what I need. I need some more recommendations for Halloween. Or do you think I should just give out candy? Like, I'd like to look at it that we're trying to make the kids healthier. Let me see that. Let me see. See the side of your house after you handle it. The kids would throw it at the house. I guess you're right? The kids are all excited to get candy on. But that's what we need to change that, right? That mentality. Like we're getting the excited, like, candy is a reward. Meantime, we have all these people getting diabetes and heart disease and everything. Wow, we got somebody in Iran that's watching it now. Very cool. What is my favorite candy? I honestly, well, dark chocolate would be it's somewhat healthy. So, I do not think this is happening. I will not get into that subject at all. We'll just leave that alone. Barry Shelley, you are an intelligent, thoughtful man. Tom does eat candy. He's sweet enough. Oh, man. I guess, yeah, we could have had no coins. Hold on, that's Deb's idea. So they're still happy. They got a coin. Remember the old UNICEF boxes you used to go around with? Fill up the UNICEF box. That's a good idea. We'll give out money. Huh. Signed hockey pucks. We could do that. There's a lot of good ideas here. Yeah. Very, 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 very. I was hacked. No, you said it. You said it. Let's see. You should come out to Center Mauritius, Long Island, for the annual Spooky Walk. It's fun and it's a nice, healthy walk. It raises money for children's camp. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Happy to report that somehow the truck is miraculously fixed. The mechanic did do something. He had that nasty noise he was making, rarely making it, but when he made it, it was nasty, like metal grinding on metal. And he drained all the fluid from the, I can't remember, some transfer case or something, and then put new, and it's not doing it anymore. It had done it like once after he did that, but it's fine. It's this place I went to is about an hour away and no problems at all with the car. So I'd like to think I fixed it. I just told it to smarten up. Was it transfer case or what else did he call it? I can't remember what it was. It's that full-time all-wheel drive. So, it's like it makes that T where the transmission comes together. Yeah, Mr. Mechanic, Tom Laidlaw. So the big drama with the car now, those two, is that when it was hot there a couple weeks ago, the windshield and the mirror and the windshield fell off, which it has done before. It's not a big deal. There's a little metal kind of clip or plate that it's small. It's like an inch by inch, and it's glued onto the windshield. There's a little pad on the windshield there where it goes. So I got it's no big deal. It's like $2 or $3. You get the glue and you clean off the plate, make sure there's not old glue on it. So of course, I put the glue on, Mr. Cocky, and I just, set it up there on the mirror or in the windshield thinking, oh, that's good. And it falls off. Now, if it was to fall properly, it would just fall off and sit on the dashboard or even on the floor. But it does this miraculous, like it's got a mind of its own. It falls off and falls into the vent, the defroster vent. Of course, you can't get to it. And it was one of those days too. It's like, oh God, everything's going wrong. So that's what happened. Let me see here. You suggested you're live to me, and I'm just watching. Perfect part for working man. Love from. Wow. I really interesting. I have to check out who that is. All right. If anybody's got more questions or anything like that, I'd love to answer them. Otherwise, we will say adios. I'm trying to learn my Spanish too. Get better at it. All right, everybody. Good to see you again. Everybody have a safe weekend. And again, let's make sure we really help each other. We've gotten off this topic about the whole mental health, reaching out to other people, the old shoulder check thing. Put your hand on somebody's shoulder, ask them if they're okay, if they need any help or anything like that. More I go places. A lot of people talking about, people that have committed suicide recently. Let's make sure we're helping each other as much as we can. All right. Let's everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you everybody next week.